Hello and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Poor people of this keep, hacked to bits. The survivors have been shoved into a small corner together.
The survivors won't be survivors for long. And the cries of the people of whatever this nameless village once was echo out through the woods from the stone keep. Skeletons have piled over the walls. It's only a matter of time before the zombies tear through the door, right?
Mm-hmm. Eventually the door comes crashing down.
Malcifer's only real interest in these people is the resource they represent in this war. They're enemies. Their body and soul is forfeit. So I would actually like to recover some HP. I was planning on getting it from that knight, but she squirmed away. I don't know if she lives. Maybe you should roll some random encounters in the woods for her. But
all right, I'm gonna roll.
I think Malcifer's attentions are diverted to more present matters, such as following those zombies in the front gate.
Ooh. So she does run into a zombie in the woods, doesn't notice it, rolls a 1 on her perception check against it. So I think it gets a surprise attack on her. Why don't you make me a 1d20 plus 4 to hit for a surprise zombie on a unexpected night? I'm sorry, 1d20 plus 2 to hit, Ryan.
Sorry, my internet cut out for a second there. 1d20 plus 2?
Yeah, she runs into a zombie in the woods and doesn't notice it. Oh shit! The zombie gets her.
Yeah, poor knight is torn apart by zombies.
Give me at least a d4 plus 4 for the damage to her.
That's a crit, isn't it? Oh, I guess she's got such good armor.
She has 18 AC. She's surprised, so she doesn't get her shield, and she's surprised, so it drops by 1. So that brings her to 16, 15 AC. That clears by 5. So give me another d4 in there.
Yeah, we'll see if that's enough. She might actually kill. 4 more damage.
9. She had. Let me go figure out how much HP she had. Oh shit, she might get dragged down and get killed.
Yeah, that crit is just like a bite to the brain, I think.
She was wounded. She had 13 HP. She takes 9. She's barely alive. Give me an opposed strength check, which is not going to look good for her.
Why would it be an opposed strength check?
Because the zombie's like grabbing her and biting her, and she's going to try and just fucking flee.
Okay.
So I feel like if the zombie is attacking you, it's sort of holding you-ish.
Yeah. Oh, not bad. Or so I did bad. So if she passes, she can escape.
She passes. She breaks free and will live to tell the tale, including being attacked by a zombie in the woods. Lucky girl. Lucky girl. All right.
So do we want to describe the
carnage and mayhem inside?
The carnage and mayhem, or shall we just summarize the
Well, I think when Malcifer walks in, there are like 100 corpses of peasants scattered all over the place.
That many. So I'm thinking it took another 5-10 minutes to get down the door.
Yeah.
Where Malcifer sort of stood around and waited.
Yeah, I mean, the volleys of arrows alone took out, 20 or 30 peasants, and then the skeletons had free reign for a while in there, and the stampede of people trying to flee. So I think what it is,
Malcifer enters the keep finally. The zombies have, tooth and nail torn their way through. I think I'll dismount off the elk, right? Maybe the elk was even. I didn't want to scum up its epic antlers, but I'll walk off its head into the hole that the pig is probably the first in, right? It's like worn its face, just like sanded its face off, or half of its face off. Eventually it gets a hole big enough to get its own body through. I bet it splits its belly on the way in, just melting the rest of the door with acid. There's an elk and bear, I think, that are also tearing it open. Malcifer ducks and climbs in through the small hole. And I think his immediate goal is to get the living sacrifices before they're torn asunder. So, like, I see a group of skeletons chasing someone, and I shout, "Stop, wait! Bring her to me alive!" I command in Old Gadian. So to these poor peasants, it just...
what language is he speaking?
Infernal,
Right, the
infernal
first
words.
peasant you come across is an older man leaning heavily on a cane, backed into a corner. You know, when he's not leaning on it, he's waving it wildly at the skeletons, trying to bludgeon them, and they grab hold of his arms and drag him to you. He looks up at you with wrinkled eyes that have seen too much.
Oh, have they? Oh, have they? Malcifer, if he's brought, there's, skeletons have him. Malcifer grabs him, and then I think I just press I've got this bardish, this executioner's axe that I like just clutch one-handed and push into just like the man's chest until blood starts to well up. And over the course of 6 minutes is a lot. I don't think I have the patience for that. I just take like 1 HP from this guy, sacrifice him, and move on. Or do we sit here draining him? See how much noise he makes? Because I can only drain 1 HP a minute, right?
It's a slow process. And you need to drain 2 HP before you gain 1.
Yeah, so it takes 2 minutes. Yeah, so that's just, him restrained, pressing this blade into his skin, draining 2 HP around.
His screams are stifled slowly as he loses life.
And probably consciousness eventually, right?
His knees weaken. He's only held up by the skeletons raising his arms. The axe presses into him, and eventually he's just dead.
With a fell swoop, I take his head and his life, I suppose. There's probably a paltry year left in him, if that.
Yeah,
but in this way, Malcifer will systematically make his way through the carnage, stopping the skeletons to bring him living sacrifices.
Yes. You gain 0.7 years from the old man.
And in this way, we'll take the keep. I don't see any compelling reason to keep survivors unless a lord comes to me groveling and begging for his life. Maybe such a surrender would have leverage, but otherwise I think we should probably just chop this keep up into a number of years available.
Well, the top floor of the keep is barred.
Really?
There's there's a few people who are left inside at the very, very height of it all. Let me see if I can get a map for us of this top floor of this keep. I will bring it to you in just a moment.
Yeah.
Or more accurately, I will bring you to it. All right, let's come back to this map that we were looking at earlier. Zoom out just a wee bit so we can see what's going on here. So it is this room that is, the door here is locked. Your skeletons can make it up this staircase, in through this doorway, burst through this door that had some stuff, maybe a few people in it, burst through this door, and this is the Lord's room. It is locked and barred, and as you make your way there, somehow eventually, you can see that
so how many do I encounter along the way? Should we sum up a number of years that
yes,
of peasants that I sacrifice?
Yes.
Before I meander to I think what I probably find is a barred door that a bunch of skeletons are clawing at, right?
Mm-hmm. You will get another 40 years of life from the various people you drain.
40?
40, yes. which is quite a bit. You know, there are a few children that have escaped. You find them under piles of hay in a tool shed. There are, you know, regular people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that have backed themselves into one of these bedrooms, desperately trying to hold out, you know, using a bed to keep the skeletons at bay. And then when you show up, you know, with your help, the skeletons knock it down, capture the people, and you drain their life. It's a massacre. This room. Someone in here. In the Lord's room. A light flickers underneath the door frame. And you can hear the soft singing of a young woman, maybe a child, singing prayers and hymns to the God of life, Martha, asking her to bless them on this darkest of all nights.
This can be heard through the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's an odd image. So there's probably this full, maybe 3 skeletons have been pushed aside. I'm sure they were clawing at the door, trying to get to the precious life force on the other side. Mm-hmm. Mousefer comes upon them and presses his own ear up to the door and hears song. He can. Mousefer speaks common, whatever this is. Arcadian. What do we call it? Eridonian. I don't know. Eridonian common.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear this. It's a woman, or
a girl, maybe. Yeah.
Begging for her mother to save you. Your mother can't save you. Mousefer says, probably, maybe not heard through the door or over the prayers.
Well, a masculine voice replies, saying, "Back, demons! Back!" There's at least 2 people in this room.
Submit or die. It makes no difference to me. Mousefer's like sizing up the door frame, trying to think what it will take to get in.
It's just a regular old door. An open doors check is all you would need. Get one of your zombies up here and... Well, I don't know if they'll fit in this place.
Not the monsters, right?
Maybe the bear. Maybe the bear could fit in here.
Yeah. It's just is it just a cub, is that what you said? Or a juvenile or something?
Yeah, juvenile.
Yeah, Mousefer will go fetch his bear, unless the guy on the other side of the door has anything compelling to say.
I will not fall for your tricks. Submission is death in itself. Back, heretics! Back, Dark One! Leave us in peace this night.
Bear! Here, bear!
What monstrosities have you brought upon this world? Who are you?
Well, I will go fetch my bear to bash down the door. I would think I will break up any murders in the process that I find, but I assume that 40 years included.
Yeah, that 40 years is all things. Yeah.
So maybe a few more are broken up. By the time I'm back with a bear, I'm guessing it's been long enough that everyone has been murdered or sacrificed. Did anyone escape other than, I think the one sums up will sum up the rumors enough, right? Mm-hmm. A lone knight fled the battlefield to tell a tale of death and destruction.
Zombie bites and arrows and spear cuts all over. Yeah.
I had considered trying to raise this lord back as a zombie lord to like act as a lieutenant, but I looked back at what the zombie lord is described in the monsters manual. It's not even close to what that would do.
Yeah.
So I think this lord, despite his stature, is really worth no more than a common corpse.
Well, give me an open doors check for your bear as it tries to bash down the door.
Yeah, I was able to feed to max HP, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what your HP is, but...
I was at 6 out of 12.
Yeah, you're fine. And that... You have 16 without your shield, right?
But my shield was still up and full.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. We're good.
Yeah, so I have fed myself to full, and I think the bear just tears through the door eventually. It needs an open door, so D20 plus 14.
Yeah, we'll take it round by round because the poor man inside is desperate. Eventually the bear will get through.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. God. Yeah, I think I barely I barely have enough time to get it set up, and it
just pushes against the door and the whole thing falls down. You can see inside. That
this lord is mauled to death by a zombie bear. Unless
he's got an arming sword with him. No
is
armor.
He's alone. There's no
chainmail. There's a girl in the corner.
Oh, there is. Oh, poor thing.
It's his daughter on in between the two beds, praying, looking at the window, and this poor man. He's just got chainmail and an arming sword. He's not really a soldier, but he's got this stuff lying around.
Neal, my bear might even be wounded.
Unfortunately, the bear was undamaged. The other creatures all took it.
Oh, this lord doesn't stand a chance. Does he plead? I mean, so he sees this, zombie bear barreling towards him. He brings up his arming sword.
Barreling towards him?
Yeah.
Terrible. All right.
Unbearable.
So the bear pushes down the door. This guy is in here. It's not looking good for him. He will desperately swipe at the bear while cursing you. He doesn't actually know your name, but just cursing you in general. He'll hit the bear for 1d8 damage, 5 out of 60 HP.
Can a zombie bear roar, or does it just...
It's
wheeze?
more of like a...
groan.
Yeah, it's a groan. It's a bearish groan.
Yeah, an unearthly, undead, bearish groan. The poor lord does look up and see a human, right, entering after the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Mouse for winter.
Do you call out your name? He did ask it once.
No. Oh, he did?
Yeah, who are you? Who are you?
I am winter. I am death. Is the little girl still praying?
Louder than ever.
Oh. I told you. Your mother cannot help you here. And I will... Mousifer. Let's dissociate from our character for a second. Mousifer is gonna sacrifice this girl, right? Take her ears. How many she got left? Unless I guess the guy and the bear are fighting it out. So the guy he sees Mousifer stride on in, executioner's axe in hand. And is the little girl she's got her eyes closed, praying to Martha.
On her knees, hands before her, looking towards that window, back to the carnage.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame zombies are so. And I guess the zombie already took off his head, or took off the door.
Mm-hmm. It is the zombie's turn to attack.
There's always the chance that I miss and botch this execution, right?
If you're going for the girl, you gotta get past the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I think we'll wait. We'll let the zombie do the work.
All right, have your zombie bear attack him.
The bear already brought down the door, so I think he gets one more swing.
That's
the next round.
Second attack, yeah.
I didn't walk past the bear at this point. I will have stayed in the doorway. You're always moving my tokens for me.
I'm just making assumptions on your behalf.
Feisty DM.
I shouldn't be doing that. I'm a bad person. He'll crit the bear. Actually, that's a double crit against the bear for 10 points of damage. Oh, God. It doesn't matter.
Bites at +3 or something like that. A 14. It does, D8 +4 or something?
Let's see. Zombie animals. Predators do D8 +4 and roll up +4 to hit. This guy's got 15 AC.
He does? So it's
chainmail, yeah. He's got chainmail.
So I will just barely hit a 15, because I rolled
Yeah.
D8 +4 for damage, 8 points of damage.
Oh no, he goes down. The claw hits him in the face, caving in the side. The bear then just rips out his throat. The gurgles cause the girl to break her prayers. She looks over her shoulder, cries out,
Does she see her father's soul being wrenched from his body as he bleeds his life force into this vampire? Does she think vampire, or what does the visual look like to her?
A zombie bear eating her father while this gaunt, thin-faced man who looks...
He's young and healthy,
gaunt?
Vibrant, handsome. I mean, he's blood splattered. There's blood all over his black coat and bronze mail, but he's young and quite striking. And how many years do I get? Can I get off of the Lord?
He is 45, so you can get 45 years, which come to 4.5 years. So you only get 10%.
4.5, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, at this point, it's just yeah.
Well, the girl looks...
her prayer breaks.
Yeah, she breaks her prayer when she hears her father being mauled.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the youthful innocence in her eyes forever shattered. Is there any chance that Malcifer will take pity on this poor child?
I don't know. Probably not. Yeah. There. Silence.
She stares.
This is a prayer for the right gods. And I think she may be able to say something compelling or shocking or I don't know, but otherwise I think just off with her head and
she just
out with her soul.
Drops back to her knees, looks up and simply just says, "Please." Once. Big sad eyes. I'll give her a childlike charisma check. Big eyes look at you deeply, Malcifer, but I don't know if a 21 is enough to persuade you.
These aren't lords of note, are they?
No. They're usurpers that have stolen your family's land and...
I don't know if this is necessarily yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, your people's land.
Oh. Yeah. Well, her pleas were probably for a quick death.
That's probably what she was asking for.
That's probably what she was asking for. I don't know if it's worse that she had to watch her father die, or that
you have to rip your soul from her.
Yeah, and we could turn her into like a shade or something. That's even more ritualistic, though.
Well, I mean, what would be... Is a childlike shade an appropriate addendum to your forces? Do you need the years at this point? Don't you have so many? So many.
So many. I'm an elf at this point. No, not quite. I got 170 something max years.
Oh,
and counting. 178.5. I lost it. I truncated a decimal point at some point while copying it. But... I think at some point Malcifer had to stop the bear from killing the guy to drain his life force.
Right.
So there was a hold command issued to the bear. A single please, and she'd stop praying though. Is she now just staring up at
staring up in shock and awe?
I don't know, Neal.
Malcifer falters, it seems.
I think Ryan falters. I think in game terms there were just a minute. There was a minute to drain the guy's soul. Mm-hmm. Maybe a pause while we decide what to do with her. She stops praying.
She does.
Silence. A single plea. a thoughtful heft of the executioner's axe and Mouseful Harvester's soul. There's nothing. I mean, this is no world for a soft, noble girl.
This is no world for children.
This is no world for children. How many years are there?
9 years of life.
Only 9?
No, like 9 after the 10% loss.
Yeah, so she had 90 left.
90 left. A big, long life ahead of her.
Yeah.
Cut short.
Yeah. I think everyone's dead.
They're all dead.
They're all dead. And they're all about to be zombified? Skelefied?
Well, you have the years to make zombies now, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do zombies or skeletons.
Yeah, I think I will assemble the horde. Yeah. No country for young nobles. Assemble the undead horde to gather up all of the bodies. And actually, this seems as good a place as any to prepare them, right?
What better place than the bloodbath that is this castle's courtyard?
I'll need Lilith's help, but how do I I don't have any living to send messages or to send word. But yeah, I guess let's just process
a
down here.
shade, you could possess it, send it over there, and have it just beckon Lilith towards you.
Shades are so slow, I'd rather just run there myself.
Okay.
But,
okay.
I suppose, yeah.
How fast do shades move? Movement 12? Okay.
12.
Yeah, that's whatever.
But they can't run.
No.
Or fly.
No.
One of these days, I'm going to hesitate and botch a sacrifice like that and accidentally create some cursed undead. Create a wailing banshee or something that's pissed at me for taking so long to decide whether or not to sacrifice her. Got to get cleaner at these things. So we take Winter takes this keep.
Yes.
We've already harvested the life force. Let's get a body count. And I don't know if we're going to skip a couple days while the processing gets done.
Sure.
Let's see what we're working with. Is there any livestock that can be salvaged, or is
there
animal sacrifice?
Yeah, there's like 30 chickens inside the keep. There's a small little farm over here, and typically chickens move about openly in the keep's courtyard. And I think after all is said and done, there's only like 30 left that have managed to escape into a small little hen house tucked away in the shed.
Yeah. So, body count.
Body count.
What are we looking at, Neal?
We are looking
treasure.
at 130 peasants. And what did we have? 5 times 4 is 20 soldiers and 1 knight.
20 soldiers and 1 knight? Let's start there. Flay the bones of any of the soldiers, right? Any of the warriors. So we'll strip down their armor. Have the zombies flay. Do zombies flay bones, or do skeleton warriors flay?
Skeleton warriors flay bones. Zombies can start the process by eating the flesh.
Just don't break any bones, okay? All right, necromancer. Let's see, skeleton. Ooh, and I'm betting I'm going to hit level 5, aren't I?
Yeah.
But we can delay that for next time, or what? That's when we. Yeah.
I think you hit level 5 in the process of raising these things. Is when.
The regular skeleton warriors take a year, and a medium animal. Okay, so skeletons are not going to be enough to make skeleton warriors. We'll need some larger animal. And large animals can make leveled skeleton warriors, starting at level 5.
Greater skeleton warriors.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna need to go get some animal sacrifices. And you said 180 corpses? Let's population corpses. 180. Let's start off by using those 30 chickens to make 30 regular skeletons. That probably takes like 3 days. So there's 150 corpses left, bringing the skeleton total up to 86. Let's use some years to get the zombo population a little healthier as well.
I say most of the bodies probably have their brains intact, so you can sort of make up to 3/4 of the population into zombies.
3/4 of the population into zombies?
Yeah, they could be.
Yeah.
They're suitable for that task.
How many zombies seems like a reasonable number to roam the Blumwood? Because I'm thinking that's mostly
Zero is a reasonable number of zombies.
Neal, I feel like it's like you don't even get me at all. 0 zombies in the Blumwood. You need to take some DMing lessons from me.
I will when I play a berserker.
More. Murder some zombies of your own.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's. There's a lot of corpses here. So at some point, the hunters will have been instructed to sack the castle as well. Oh, was any wealth in particular found in the nobles' quarters?
Yes.
If you look I just take up residence in the old lord's bedchambers.
Mm-hmm.
Hope I changed the sheets and all that, right? Because
yes,
and,
there is a
treasure chest or anything.
Yes, it's a well-locked safe, is what it is.
Well, my zombie bear eventually tears it open.
I don't know if a zombie bear can rip apart a metal safe.
Okay, well, it plays around with it for a bit, and then I guess I should. I don't have any good way to bust into safes. It's locked, you say? Is there a key handy on the noble's person or in a dresser?
Give me a perception check. Yeah, there is a key, but it is hidden somewhere. Oh yeah, you'll find it.
22 is a pass.
You do find it. It is underneath the bed, and then like on top of one of the bed slats between it and the mattress itself. So you have to tear apart the room to find it, but you do, and you open the chest, and inside are hundreds and hundreds of pieces of gold, maybe a few thousand pieces of silver and copper as well.
Would you like me to keep track of how much?
Yeah, let's say it's 400 GP, 2,000 silver, 2,000 copper.
Okay.
And I assume that you just store this in a manor somewhere and don't carry it on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever run into a situation where it's going to matter how much money you have on you.
I don't know that
immediately.
Malcifer really spends. I mean, like, I've kind of cut off all of my living social connections, didn't I? I don't know that I'm going to have much opportunity to spend this gold, but it may become mechanically necessary to do so to motivate NPCs and yeah, I don't even know what NPCs. They're all dead. But I wrote down this wealth anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Undead Factory. And I'll also send a hunter after you're to fetch Lilith to me at some point.
Okay, the hunter, yeah. We've got many days here while you're doing this. We'll say you send out the hunter the next morning. Lilith arrives that afternoon, and you spend days in here raising zombies and skeletons and slaying bones. Yeah.
How many did you say were suitable for zombies?
3/4 of the dead. Yes.
I'm assuming that 180 like excluded those unsuitable for
right. Yeah.
So 3/4 of 150.
3/4 of 180 is 135. 135.
135 zombies? I don't have that many years, actually. I mean, I do, but I don't want to spend that many years. Let's say... Let's go up to 66 zombies. I don't know why I like that number, but we're going to go with 66. Up from 13, that means I need an additional 53. 53 off 187 is 134. Still have more years on this plane than I started with, so we'll call that a win. Zombies, we're going to increase the zombies to 66. And I think as I complete them, I just send them to wander the Blumwood.
Oh my god.
They're slow. So I think, I think they're just gonna extend I don't know how fast 66 zombies will extend the territory, but things are getting spoopy up in this bitch.
Yeah, the nearby villages will begin to abandon, especially when, they've already heard about what's going on. Word that there's undead in the Blumwood has spread, and now that the zombies are starting to appear in different places, and that knight gets back to Pinespur and announces everything.
Yeah, not exactly discreet over here, am I? I think I've accelerated the time scale here, right? We've got to get the zombie or the undead army large enough to keep us safe. And the rest, we need to make skeletons. We need animal sacrifices. So using this money to buy livestock off of the population again, and hunters, trappers or whatever had been instructed to keep live animals. So we'll see if they've collected.
They have collected many
warrior skeletons will be flaying the rest, I think, as more skeletons, while Malsifer heads into Winter's Reach to check on such things. Are there horses in the keep anywhere, or
no? There are no horses. Although there is room in the stable for one or two. You would expect the lord of this keep to have a horse on hand. That
Probably
there are no
messenger.
horses must have been sent out right before you got here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how many days did it take to make 50 zombies? And so this is like a week, right? A week later? Or
Weren't
more?
we saying that you could make, with like help and preparation, you could get 8?
Yeah, we were saying about an hour per
spear.
An hour per individual. So in a day, it was like 4 to 8, depending how full on we were working.
Okay, right. So 8 a
so
day.
I think about 8 a day.
For how many did you want to do?
We said up until now, we've already noted down about 53 zombies and the 30 skeletons. So that's 83. It's about 10 days, right? A week and a half.
10 days
week and a half later.
Okay.
I don't know. For a week and a half. You tell me.
Yes, after a week and a half passes. You get your zombies, you get your skeletons.
We've got more. The bones are probably pretty much flayed.
Huge pile of flesh tossed in the corner. Useless flesh. Strip it from the bones.
If we can find a cart, I'll cart it back to Lord. Actually, we've got
there are a lot of carts in this town.
Yeah. There's carts.
There are carts in the village, and then there's plenty of skeletal and zombie arms. Plenty of labor.
Yeah, the flesh gets heaped up into carts and brought back to Winter's Reach to fertilize the orchard.
Okay.
And the rose bushes.
Is that something you do like as you gather it, or are you just waiting to the end?
I think this is a week and a half later. We've raised this first round of the horde, and I'm going to head back to Winter's Reach to get some more animal sacrifices. and drop off this caravan of goods. So we probably bring all the wealth that we've raided from the keep and just march back to Winter's Reach. What do we look? How this is a full-on army at this point. I organized the skeletons into rank and file, and the zombies are roaming the Plumwood. Aside from the monster zombies, which are mostly near me, but they're slower, so they often, they're just kind of hanging out. But yeah. So I march with 86 regular skeletons plus another couple dozen skeleton warriors. It's like that's like 10 spear
plus
damn near 100.
What, 50 zombies?
Yeah, and I think they're organized into rank and file, so probably roughly groups of 8, just stacked, maybe a big long line, and Malsifer marches them in column back to Winter's Reach for now. I'll probably park them outside of town. Maybe park them in the orchard. No, that's where well, right. That seems like a fair enough staging place for the army.
And we bring back all these.
Well, I guess the caravans need to drop off goods and services in town, except for the meat. And the meat wagons go to Rose Grove.
Right.
Yeah, I think the manor will be the staging point for now.
So, where's the first place Malsifer goes?
I think the manor house. Yeah, okay. The orchard. Drop off the meat wagons, and then we probably trim it down to maybe just one wagon that's going. Actually, whatever actual goods, and the hunters would have already taken the actual loot back to town, or probably kept it amongst themselves.
I think they were storing loot.
So the farmers loot, and they bring that loot back to their families, and
trickle down
they use that to buy things in town from. But
mostly they hoard the wealth for themselves and buy back stock.
Yeah, and Malsifer comes through town to buy livestock. So I think most of the army gets dropped off at the manor house, and Malsifer will head through town with his small retinue of mercenaries.
So you go to the manor house, you drop off all the meat in the stables, you're covered in blood and guts from your...
It's been a week, and I'm sure I've well...
I mean, I guess you could have showered, but you only had the one change of clothes with you,
Yeah.
So Malsifer goes into the house to clean himself up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that is when the ambush breaks.
Okay.
Yes, because in your absence, Malsifer, enemies have come to Winter's Reach. You've been gone a while. And as you come into your home and call out for Lord Rosegrove to bring you a change of clothes and Tomas to set the kettle on, there's an ambush in your home. But I think this might be a lovely stopping place. Malsifer coming home and getting surprised in his courtyard, in his your atrium. And we will see what happens with Malsifer next week. All right, that's all I got. What were you gonna say?
Damn you! I don't know. I'm ready to fight back.
No.
Ready to siege my own house.
Not yet, Malsifer. I need to plan out the siege.
You were supposed to get me to level 5 after that siege, but instead
you are level 5. Well, you leveled up while you were raising those things, so go ahead and roll for HP, and you gain some new abilities, and let's talk about that stuff.
You do this to me, and then I'm stuck with a lower level spirit armor. 5 HP. That's pretty sweet.
Sweet. You did it while you were in those 5, in that week and a half that you were raising this, you leveled. So if you want, you could have switched out your spirit armor right away.
Yeah,
that seems
so that would bring my
fair
max HP up to 16 plus 5 is a 21. Malsifer's nice and healthy despite his low con. A level 5 version of spirit armor would subtract 5 from that 21 to 16.
Okay.
A level 5, I also get an additional weapon proficiency, I think, which I will plan to use for some sort of spiritual weapon. We can talk about this, but I don't know, daggers or darts, what I was thinking. So using like bone darts or something, bone knives, daggers, something stabby, throwing, probably close range thrown.
Yeah.
we'll play with that.
You can also make greater skeleton warriors now.
Yeah,
And
that's what we're here for.
poltergeists.
And poltergeists, is that what you said?
Yes, poltergeists.
I don't know what those do, but I already want to send several out after.
Well, a poltergeist
After
is more
Pinespur.
of like a spiritual assistant. It's a ghost that can move objects. It has advanced intelligence, but it can never be more than 120 yards from the caster. It sort of has to like hover around and near you, and it can follow orders, and you can say like go to the tower, and it knows where the tower is because it's advanced intelligence, and it can pick up books and move things around. It can shift between material and ethereal planes back and forth. It's more of like a necromancer's ghostly assistant than something else. Every now and then, though, a poltergeist will break free from its owner and become just like a restless spirit that fucks with shit. Yes.
So let's see.
I will leave you
5 years of spiritual force. Yeah, I'm looking at the document.
Okay.
And you give them your HP, so it's permanent. Like if I'd have to give up 1 HP to have a 1 HP poltergeist.
Right, but you don't lose your HP permanently, unless it says
It's just
so.
in the creating.
Yeah. So you could drain 10 HP of your life to create a 10 HP poltergeist, and then in 10 days you'd be back at full.
I see.
Or whatever.
I see.
Yes. Being made of and chained to the caster's spirit allows the caster to issue commands telepathically, although the spirit's communication is limited to nods and shakes of its head. So it can yes or no at you, and you can issue commands to it with your mind. What else do you get at level 5? Well, you get 2 new spells. You get Phantom Feast and Personal Sacrifice.
Are those actually a thing?
Yeah. Phantom Feast is more of an adventuring ability. It allows you to consume your own flesh as if it were rations. So you can eat a portion of yourself and be satiated for a period of time. I'd have to look up the specifics of the spell to figure out how long. Whereas
Auto-cannibalism.
You can also allow other people to feed off of you too. So if you're traveling with a party for whatever reason and you run out of supplies, you can bring up your own arm and let people eat off of you.
This is twisted. I love it. This is some Jesus shit. Feast upon the body of
winter.
The body of winter and be satiated.
Eat upon the flesh. Eat upon the flesh of winter. Drink upon the blood of winter. I don't know. Phantom Feast. Oh yeah, here it is. By presenting a part of their body and declaring a feast, the caster imbues himself with magic. The caster and a number of people up to the caster's level may eat the flesh of the caster. Each person needs but 1 mouthful to nourish them for a week. Although the spell does not stave off the effects of dehydration. The caster takes an amount of damage equal to the number of people who feast on them plus 3. A 4-person party would deal 7 points to the caster. The caster's flesh quickly regrows, but the damage taken is very real and cannot be healed by magical means. Larger and smaller creatures feast differently on you. And the last note is that it's not uncommon for creatures who use this spell to develop a taste for human flesh, assuming the caster is human. Those who survive on this spell for too long may find themselves repulsed by normal food.
That's pretty twisted, but I don't think it will be that relevant to this campaign. But you never know.
Yeah. And also, we have Personal Sacrifice. By permanently decreasing a willing target's maximum HP by 1 to increase their maximum lifespan by... Permanently decrease a willing target's maximum HP by 1 to increase their lifespan by 10 years. Also requires a human sacrifice. Points can be changed during one casting, or many points can be changed during casting. Process requires 1 minute per HP exchanged. It is reversible, so you can gain HP in this way by decreasing your lifespan.
Well, only to your natural max, or can I sacrifice lifespan to gain a ton of real HP?
Only to your natural max.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could I sacrifice years to overcharge? So my max is 21, but I've got the spirit armor, reducing me to 16. could I give up 5 years to gain back to 21? Or is that not?
Ooh, interesting. Let me take a look at spirit armor real quick. Spirit armor. So you use your life essence to create a shield around you. It's an interesting interplay between them. I would rather leave spirit armor as is.
Okay.
So no.
So 16 is still my max.
Yeah, when spirit armor is up.
That's interesting, but it also takes. I don't know what use that would have unless you're desperate. But
I think Malcifer is in the situation where he's got lots of life force available to him, and I don't think most or all necromancers would be in your situation.
Yeah,
with such a big army.
There's a surprising number of party mechanics in these necromancer abilities. Are you expecting necromancers to party?
I don't think it would work well with a party, but I think every now and then, you might need to travel somewhere with a group of assistants to do a thing, and you could get into trouble along the way,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just making shit that I think is cool and throwing it in, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think we should wrap it up. Otherwise, I'm going to be mad that I don't get to murder whatever is in my house.
Yeah. That's it for Dicing with Death today. We will be back next week with the thrilling conclusion to Malcifer coming home, but definitely not the conclusion to this campaign. Tomorrow we will have a Cuban Nights, and we're going to have some major politicking going on.
Don't tease me again, Neal.
There's no teasing going on. It's going to happen, and we're going to get into some politics and lore and traveling and good stuff. So I need to do a shit ton of planning today. And tonight is Rise of the Dragon Queen, Saturday Shenanigans. Yeah. Any final words, Ryan?
No.
Then we will
Thank
see
you for watching.
Later.
Yeah.
Good night. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good day.
And,